I'm shocked. I'm not going to lie, I'm very shocked with a general sort of feeling after Arsenal going through in the next round of the Carabao Cup. It feels as though we've lost, judging from the reaction of other Arsenal fans and other pundits out there. We're going to be discussing that, discussing the game as well. So if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and the like. And of course, a massive shout out to the guys at Dragon Jersey who are once again sponsoring this video. If you want to get yourself an Arsenal kit from the past to present, you know where they are. I'll put a link to the company down below and you can get a sort of football kit for 10% off using code Fanatics. But yeah, let's get into the game. Was it vintage Arsenal? No. Was it fluid Arsenal? No. Was it Arsenal showing their superiority through multiple chances, multiple goals? No. But is it job done Arsenal getting fitness into the legs of those players who've been out for a while? Yes. If you had told me that William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, Ben White, who else was out there? Waneri, Eze, Martinelli as well, Marino, that all of these players would start, not get injured, and Arsenal would win 2-0 with hardly any threat from the opposition, I'd have bit your hand off for that. I'd have bit your hand off. It's not easy, you know. We all saw how Chelsea got on yesterday against Lincoln. They were nearly embarrassed up there, and I want you to sort of look at the lineup they put out there. Hato, 40 million signing. You're looking at Fofana, 70 million. Chalobah, who's been starting every game. Garnacho for 50 million, who they signed. Gittins again for 60 million, who they signed. Enzo Fernandez, 110 million in their lineup. The lineup Chelsea put out was very strong. The performance they put in was very weak. So obviously, I feel as though a lot of managers, judging off of how those games went into today's fixtures really worried, because I looked at not only the Arsenal lineup, the Tottenham lineup as well, the City lineup, very strong from all three of those sides. You've got to respect the competition. You don't want to be embarrassed. And Arteta said it really, really well in the press conference or the conference after the game. The biggest thing on the line for you when you come to these grounds is your reputation. Yesterday, Chelsea's reputation took a little bit of a hit. Yesterday, Liverpool's reputation, albeit they went through, albeit Chelsea as well went through, took a little bit of a hit because they didn't show control up against these lower oppositions. And that can happen. Arteta would have loved to go through this game with a 5-6-0 win. But is our reputation damaged? No, we look solid at the back as per usual. I know we gave away a lot of balls, like balls across, like from Mascara, Waneri losing it in the middle. But look at what came from that. 0 shots on goal. Kepa didn't need to make a save. The only effort they had was Devante Cole, which went over the bar. So we controlled them. I think they had only under 0.5 XG. And I know you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? XG up against Port Vale. We should be battering them. Wenger. I even saw a comment saying Wenger used to batter these teams. And Arteta, look, I know I'm young, but I watched Wenger. I watched us get knocked out to Bradford. I watched us get knocked out by Nottingham Forest. I watched us have horror shows in cup competitions against teams that we should be beating. This cup in particular, Wenger could not give a toss about this cup. So that narrative that Arteta's taken away our identity, he used to batter these teams, Wenger, with academy players, is wrong. I get it. If you don't like Arteta, fine. You don't need to like him. You can wait for him to sort of show something, win some trophies. I get that. But don't switch the narrative to make him look worse when we all saw with our 2 eyes what Wenger used to do in this competition. And he was a phenomenal manager, I know. And he probably did earn the right to use this competition as a nothing piece. But look, be happy. We're through to the next round. We're through to the next round and we're up against Brighton, a very strong team. We didn't get any injuries today. We saw a first goal for Eberechi Eze, who I actually want to talk about. This video is meant to be positive, but the way that people have been talking about the game, I haven't even been able to start it off with positivity. But Eberechi Eze getting on the score sheet wonderfully. And I saw a lot of good stuff from Eze. I know he didn't influence the game as much in the second half because it was all about controlling the game, keeping the ball. They were chasing shadows, Port Vale, running after it, using so much energy. It must have been demoralizing, actually. That is how you say it. But Eze's goal was really well taken. A lovely sequence of play. Out wide, I think it was Waneri that swung it out wide to Martinelli. Martinelli played it inside to, I think it was Marcelo Skelly, who did a lovely little back heel or fake into Eze's path, and it was a really cool finish. And those are the finishes that Eze's really good at, where he just strokes it into the corner, and that's what you need. Difference makers in both boxes, and Eze's being a difference maker. He had some really nice balls as well through the lines into the feet of the attackers. Eze, I liked it, positive. He played on the left side of the midfield, you know, in the left 10 position. often we see a more defensive option in there, whether it is Rice in there, whether it is Zubamendi venturing in there. We often see a more defensive player there, but Eze had the responsibility, and I think out of possession, he looked really good as well. Many times he had high possession gains, high regains, which is always what you want to be seeing as an Arsenal fan. So from that point of view, we can look at that and be like, Eze did right. He got his first goal. It's always difficult. People are always saying 007 and all this nonsense that comes up, but Eze's got himself a goal and an assist already. And what he's played against Liverpool, where he probably should have scored, played against Forest, where he had a couple of openings here and there. He played today against Port Vale as well. He had a couple of opportunities, to put the ball into the back of the net, which he probably should have scored. Against Bilbao, he had that chance where he was slow to react. So, look, we're going through these games and we're seeing opportunities that Eze's generating through his movement and being in the right positions at the right times. That's only a positive if you ask me. Eberechi Eze getting into the right zones, getting to the right areas, it can only mean positive things for Arsenal. And I hope he keeps this momentum up. Whether he's playing off the left wing, whether he's playing in the 10 position, whether he's playing the right 10, left 10, doesn't matter. Keep the momentum. Feel as though you're playing well. And it was good to hear his press conference as well. He looked really happy, looked really sort of ready to kick on and score many, many more goals for Arsenal. But it was good to see. I also think Nwaneri was really, really good in the first half. I think he was picking up some nice areas. He played lovely balls through to Saka and White. A couple of shots as well for him in the game. Second half was a very difficult game for him, but the rest of the team also struggled. So, in terms of combination as well, Nwaneri was good. I can understand being frustrated, but I think there was enough in that game, especially in the first half, to feel more positive than negative about Arsenal. We're able to roll these teams over without having to go for the jugular, creating chances. Look, if that game had been like the Liverpool game against Southampton, I'm not sure if you watched it, transitions, same with the Chelsea game, transition, where Port Vale attack, we attack, Port Vale attack, we attack. I don't like those games because those are games in which you can get bad injuries. Liverpool's player, ACL injury. We're already seeing how Arsenal are getting injuries. If it was a ping-pong game against a physical side like that, we'd have been crying. We would have been sort of shaking our heads at that because you don't want to be seeing those sort of games. You want control. You want to be able to get through. I know we had shaky moments. I'm not saying we had the world-class game, but I'm saying we're not having a game where you can call us a disgrace or you can say we were horrible, where you can say Arsenal are in trouble. We don't create anything. The real test for Arsenal is Newcastle, who we play next. Fulham away. You're looking as well on that list. Who have we got at home? I think it's West Ham at home where they're going to sit deep. West Ham always give us a game and a half at home. So in those games, if we're not able to create chances, I'll be with you. I'll sit there and be like, he's not getting the right dynamics in the attacking third. He's not getting the right relationships across the pitch. But for now, when I'm looking at the Arsenal team, I'm looking at how we controlled that game after a really, really high energetic game against Manchester City, easing back the Sakas of this world into the lineup. I think more positive than negative. But until next time, peace.